follow along with me as I set a national record for Trinidad and Tobago without fins, 35 meters below.
Jevaughn Ballington, Trinidad and Tobago, 35 meters, CNF, national record attempt, dive time of 1 minute 30 seconds, 130.
I need to also be aware that I need to grab this tag at the bottom plate and show it to the judges as I surface.
30 meters, down.
5 seconds. Touchdown. Turn, coming up.
30 meters, up.
Now the entirety of the dive isn't over. I need to surface with this tag while showing good surface protocol to be allowed a white card.
I'm okay. Tag.
Okay, and congratulations.
Yeah!
Jevaughn Ballington setting a new free diving record, and he joins us via phone this morning. Good morning to you, Jevaughn.
Good morning, good morning.
And congratulations.
Thanks for sure, but I'm more excited about my student who got the female national record.
Just now, Jevaughn, don't rush the brush, don't rush the brush. Let me deal with one thing at a time. Let me deal with you first, because you did achieve a new free diving record, both with no fin and monofin, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, correct, that's correct.
All right, so tell me, first of all, in terms of, well, we saw your dive there just now, well, one of them. You mentioned something called proper surface protocol. What is that exactly?
Basically what that is to make sure everybody starts and finishes on an even playing field. There's a set of rules that you need to follow before and after every dive. So you need to go to the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the dive, you need to go to the bottom, grab the tag, make one pull only on the rope, and come up and show an okay sign, then verbally say, I'm okay. Then show the tag, and during this time, the judges and safeties will monitor you to make sure that you're not super hypoxic or you're blackout or anything. And then you'll be awarded with a white card for your dive. But if for some reason you fail the surface protocol or you do something different, anything different, like even if you say I'm okay and then show the sign, you'll be awarded with a red or a yellow card, which is a fail attempt.
Ah, okay. I understand in the monofin, you had 2 fail attempts before you got to the 40-meter mark. Tell me about that experience.
All right, so the first day that I attempted it, I had a bit of equalizing problems, so I was like, I could just do this another day, because in training I was doing much deeper dives, like 60 meters, 63 meters, so I was like, anything under that should be easy. But on the day itself, equalizing problems, so I failed that. I turned early. I think I honestly can't remember the depth I turned at, but was pretty shallow, probably like 40 meters.
Yeah, it was 40 meters in a minute.
Yeah, and I was actually trying to get to 57 meters. So I turned early, came back up, and that was a yellow card. Then the next day, when I tried again, I did the same depth, tried to go to the same depth, but this time I made it to 55 meters, got the same equalizing problem, and early turned. So I was like, you know what, I could just dial it back, because no matter what I do, it's literally a national record. And I know I could do much deeper in training, so no reason to put ego above everything else, right?
I hear you. So for those who don't know and aren't familiar with freediving, tell us what equalizing exactly means.
So equalizing is where you, in simple terms, let's say you want to go to a particular depth, like let's say you want to go to 10 meters. Ideally, on the surface, you have 1 atmospheric pressure.
Right.
And as you descend and descend, the atmospheric pressure increases So all your airspace is basically compressed. Now, your sinus, which is connected to your U station tubes, these are compressible spaces. As you go deeper and deeper, you need to equalize the pressure in your sinus, then equalize the middle ears, which then pushes your outer ear, so you can actually be able to go deeper and deeper. If you don't do that, you'll have a world of problems in terms of freediving injuries like barotrauma in your ears. Basically, your eardrum will be busted. It'll be very painful. You'll lose your balance. You'll bleed. It'll be bad. So equalizing is basically a technique we use to be able to go deeper.
And that is basically the thing that happens when you naturally kind of expand your ears, the air out of your ears is essentially what you're saying there, right?
Yes, but it gets a lot more interesting when you're diving past residual volume, which is past 100 feet, 50 meters. You have to use a totally different equalizing technique from the normal technique that everybody else uses.
Okay.
So normally everybody just pinches their nose and stuff. But when you dive deeper, now you have to, before your lungs compress before it compresses to the point that you really can't equalize and bring the air up, you need to bring that air into your cheeks. So it creates a whole neck space. Well, I mean, that's a whole next explanation by itself, but equalizing is an amazing and very detailed topic.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Now, you mentioned that you were very proud of the athlete that you've been training, Petra Lezama. I understand that she now has a national bifin record of 35 meters. Tell us about, well, how proud you are, and tell us about her experience as well.
So, firstly, I encourage her to train. She's been training since September, and she was having a lot of, I'll say, struggles in terms of she didn't believe in herself, and she was studying well, you know. She has a condition where I don't know what the name of the condition, but basically she has certain features like a bed and that kind of stuff, and she was studying like maybe she shouldn't do it. She was feeling real down and depressed about it. And then, you know, I encouraged her to do it. And she did not make any of these dips in training in Tobago. The deepest she dove was 30 meters. I said, just buy a ticket. Let me go. We came to Dominica. I had 100% faith that she would have gotten a national record. And she just came out. She proved it. And she showed me that, you know what, hard work definitely rewards. It doesn't matter what anybody has to say. Once you believe in yourself, you can definitely do it.
Yeah, man. Inspiring words for us there this morning. Now, Jevaughn, how many people are you training currently to freedive?
Currently, that's a very good question. Let's say about 15, 16 persons.
Okay. So very soon you will be the only person competing for the national record?
No, I'll be the only. There's multiple persons that will be competing.
Right.
Like, for example, there's a girl in Trinidad named Victoria. She was supposed to compete, but then the competition she signed up for got cancelled. But there's so much amazing talent in Trinidad and Tobago. It's just we need to bring more awareness to this actual sport itself.
Agreed. Now, one of the people that would have done that for you, Virgil Price, he passed away recently from what I understand. Tell us a little bit about your relationship with Virgil and the encouragement he would have given you into freediving.
All right, well, firstly, that guy there was honestly probably one of the best persons I've ever met. He came to Tobago. I first met him. He came to Tobago teaching an intermediate course, and I was just the cameraman. So they called me. They just be like, just a recorder. And after he saw me dive, he was like, you know what? You're diving real good. So he told me he would have done an instructor course. He would have come back in July, August with some friends of his from Florida. And they'll do a really nice freediving Tobago camp. And I said, all right, sounds good. So he made me a deal. He was like, here's what. If it is you could pass every single requirement flawlessly and with good time, you'll get the entire instructor course for free. And that time, the instructor course was very expensive.
Yeah.
So we had two other persons who signed up, and everybody was doing it. I was comfortable, having a nice time. But then we reached to something called a capacity dive, which is basically you have to dive multiple times in a row with limited rest to simulate if you have multiple students. And on the last dive, you need to rescue the student. But anyway, long story short, I impressed him with the performance I did, and then he really encouraged me to go to do a competition. But I told him, well, the government here doesn't really fund that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I still wrote a letter, but didn't really get a response. But then he was like, you know, I'll buy the ticket, I'll pay for the competition, just go and set some national records. So I did that. Went to Dominica for the very first time, very first competition, and very first dive. I did some crazy PBs. Like, I didn't do these dives in training because in Tobago I would only dive to like 30 meters, 35 meters.
Yeah.
But the moment I went to Dominica, everything just clicked.
Just like it did with Petra.
Second?
I said just like it did with Petra, where she surprised you with her records in Dominica as well.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, Jevaughn, we are out of time this morning, but I do want to say again, congratulations to you and to Petra, and thank you so much for joining us. And we also, you know, extend condolences to their family and everybody who would have been impacted by Virgil's passing as well.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Jevaughn Ballington, freediver, instructor, and record holder, and trainer of record holders. We take a quick break and we come back with more. It just goes to show you the power of being inspired by the right people. Huh?
There we go.
We'll be back after this audio. Stay tuned.